Alrighty, everybody, welcome to another season of I Never Been a Stranger I Didn't Like. This is season 2, and a lot of you are going to recognize this little light up here. We're over here at 619 Nutrition with Miss Lynn Liles, aka Mama Lynn, right?
Right.
Most people probably don't even know, like, except by Mama Lynn.
Yeah, Mama Lynn.
Mama Lynn.
Yeah.
So, you guys have been here for a while.
10 years.
10 years.
Yes.
Like, how do you keep that going?
I think that the most important part is just being a part of the community.
Yeah.
Always be out in the events that the community offers, being a part of the college, the part of the schools, just doing tea drops and letting people know that we care about them.
Yeah, I do. I see all the time, like, you'll be dropping off tea to the teachers over at the school. I mean, if anybody needs it, they do. They really do.
Yeah.
And I mean, there may be some people out there that don't even know what the store is, what you guys do, what the tea is, the shakes, things like that. So, before we really dig into getting to know you, let's kind of talk about the store. Let's talk about 619, what it is that you guys do here. I mean, this stuff is gold in a cup. It's liquid gold. This stuff is amazing. It tastes good.
Right.
And the first time that I came in here, you're like,
Yes.
Here, take one of these.
Right.
I drank it. I literally went back to the house and I sat in front of the computer for like 8 hours, just solid, straight focused, working nonstop. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm ADHD, so that doesn't happen very often.
Right.
Like, I'm all over the place. And so I have no idea what's in these things, but whatever it is, it tastes delicious and it gives you like energy that, I mean, focus and
energy that makes you feel.
I mean, you get the shake and hear the sound. Like, this stuff is good. This one you gave me was Christmas Vacation because you guys got some Christmas menu going on right now. So,
Yes.
Tell people a little bit, like, what is 619? What do you guys do here? What do you sell?
Okay, so we are an Herbalife Nutrition Club. Herbalife has been in business. We're celebrating 45 years this year. So we have energy boosting teas, we have healthy protein shakes, we have all kinds of enhancers that you can, beauty collagen, we have a heart health line. We just have all kinds of products that just takes care of your body. Mm-hmm. And, everybody runs to the store and grabs these, I won't say what kind of energy drinks, but they grab these off the shelf energy drinks. Well, they don't know what's in those energy drinks. All of our stuff, it is regulated so that we know exactly what's in our cup. First, we start with the love in the cup.
You gotta have the love.
Gotta have the love. And then we put our energy boosting tea, which boosts your metabolism, burns some calories. It's made from black tea, oolong, and orange pico, so they're all natural.
All natural stuff.
So then we've got our Lift Off. I've even heard it called Lift Up, which that's what some people...
kind of makes sense, right?
Makes sense, right? And so anyway, the Lift Off is your B vitamins. And so you've got some B12, B6, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E. So it's all natural. So then from there, you can add other products. We have a product that is for a lot of our college kids and our nurses use, and it's called NRG, Nature's Raw Guarana, and it's for mental focus and clarity.
So that's the kind of stuff I need.
Right. And so then let's go over to our shake side. We have hundreds of different types of shakes. You can make up your own shakes. I mean, they're soy-based. And we also have a post-workout that is whey protein. So, for ever which you're wanting to use, you can use our shakes. They are meal replacements, so you can lose weight, you can gain weight, you can have a healthy snack. So it's kind of an all-around shop for health.
Just everything. I mean, and it's, like you said, there's a lot of, the energy drinks you can go buy from the gas station that has Lord know what, half the stuff you can't even pronounce.
Right, exactly.
I mean, I know, like, one of them is a product that is a waste product of sewers. I mean, if you think of
it is.
It's wastewater foam that gets dried out and is put into your drink. Right. And I mean, that's kind of gross if you really think about it. And don't get me wrong, I was an energy drink nut. I always, growing up, even in high school, energy drinks. Back whenever you could buy the big rigs, like the big ones, and before everybody got regulated, it was like, hey, you guys aren't supposed to drink this many or that much. But I drank them, and you do have that crazy crash at the end of it.
Right.
And once it's out, and you're drained. Whenever I had this, it was not that way. Like it was just a continuous lift up, and was just going through my day. And then at night I went to sleep. So it didn't even keep me awake or anything like that. So, I mean, it's a great replacement to come and do that. And you're right here in town, right in the middle of town.
And the thing is, my SIP local, where that came from is I'm a firm believer in shopping local.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I partner all the time with different merchants that are local businesses, and we just have to lift each other up in the day and age of Amazon and Walmart shopping and Sam's shopping. And I mean, I'm not against any of that, but when you have local people that support your community, and every time your little Jane or little Johnny comes in and they need you to do a fundraiser for them,
who's doing it?
Yep. It's your small local businesses.
Exactly.
So for me, it's just very important that we all just lift each other up.
Yeah, I mean, that was one reason I started this podcast, is because I think people are just quick to just get negative comments or reviews or things like that because of one little mishap or things. Like, you guys are local, you're human beings, you're people that you're our neighbors. Your kids went to school with our kids. I mean, I went to school with your kids. Like
Absolutely.
Brooke was a year or two below me, and over at Claremore Christian, and so I've known Brooke for quite a while, I mean, I don't like to tell people how long I've been out of high school because it really starts to show my age, but it's these are the people that are keeping our community alive.
Exactly.
I mean, you got to think about even the tax dollars, anything that goes back into our community. And so whenever you're shopping local, you're not helping some billionaire build another rocket to go to space, you're helping a kid get his new shoes or have a roof over their head. They're local people that are living and working hard to do this and to give our community somewhere to go. Right. Because I remember a time when Claremore was kind of bare. Right. It really kind of died down a little bit. Right. Whenever I was younger, there wasn't a whole lot to do. There wasn't a whole lot to go see. We literally would stand in parking lots after church and just hang out. Right. That was all we had to do. Or
we came here to Neymar and we hung out. When I was growing up here. So I'm born and raised here.
You're a local.
I am a local. So my dad was a Claremore police officer. My mom had an in-home daycare. My grandpa was a preacher. I mean, I'm a Claremorean through.
Your roots are here.
That's right. And so I raised my kids here. Both of them, like you said, Brooke went to Claremore Christian for a few years. And then because I worked at the high school, both of my kids graduated from Claremore. They came up there with me. And anyway, we did Claremont, and I mean, we are local to Claremore. And it's like when we were young in my age group, everybody hung out at Neymar.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was the new hot spot, and we cruised town. And so, and you're right. There was a period of time where it's like, and it was when you guys were in that age group.
We were.
When Alex and Brooke were in high school, it's like, okay, what do? We don't have anything to do.
Or we just sit at Sonic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And drive
and get in trouble.
until the police ran off because you sat there too long.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So.
But yeah, I mean, it was a time where there was not a whole lot there. And now we've got so many people that are just putting so much energy and time and dollars back into the community to lift it back up. I mean, I really think we're at a spot to where we have some of the best leaders we have ever had.
Absolutely. And I think the thing that I love, because I was looking over your questions that you sent me, and I was kind of thinking about my answers. And as far as leadership goes, in Claremore, I think you're right, because we have a younger generation of leaders that have they know technology, and they're just really good with innovation and bringing things and the different events and stuff. And the thing that I love most about our leaders is that I see them walk through our doors.
Yeah.
And they support small business.
They're actually showing up.
Yes.
They're not saying, hey, go do this and not doing
Yes.
it themselves.
I mean, I can name so many people that are part of leadership. Well, like tomorrow, Rogers County Leadership that they're doing right now, the program where the people go and they learn all about Claremore and stuff like that. Yep. They'll be here tomorrow at lunchtime, and they always make us one of their stops. And that way we can tell them what we do and the whole 9 yards. I've done it, Brooke's done it, and one other person that works here. We've all went through the Citizens Academy to get to know, our local police officers. Yeah. What is it we can do? We've always done, we've always been a huge contributor to No Shave November. Yeah. I mean, I think that it's just really awesome to see all the different small businesses come together and support one another.
I mean, just like the parade we just had.
Oh, so awesome.
It was a long parade. It was probably one of the longest ones that I've seen in a long time.
Listen, I've been to so many parades. We've done Boy Scouts, we've done Girl Scouts, we've done, ROTC.
All of it.
We've done it all, okay, for the parade. This was the first time that 619 actually did a float. Yeah. And Brooke got it in her head that she wanted to have a float because she loves Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
And I told her, but at the same time, we were doing our, we were raising money for Landon Ragsdale for our big raffle and Get Back Day. And I said, okay, Brooke, I've got my mind on this. You can do it if you want. Yeah. And I mean, it turned out so good.
Oh, it was great.
And so here's the great thing, okay? 619 Nutrition is a community of people, okay? We welcome in anybody into 619.
When I walk in here, there's different ages, different races, different...
Everybody's talking
genders,
to everybody.
Yeah.
And nobody, I mean, it's just a huge community. So when it was time to fill our float of people to sit there, I think we probably had, I couldn't guess right off the bat, but I'm going to say there was at least 20 people on the back end of our thing.
You were after loaded up.
Loaded up. And, all of my girls that are a part of 619, our team, they showed up. I mean, we did a special for everybody that was at the parade. We were handing out coupons for people to be able to come in and get a tea at a special price. And so, I mean, it was just like... It was incredible to see our people say, we want to be on the float. Yeah. We want to be on, and all the kids loved it. But this was hands down best parade we've had.
It was
so.
There were so many people there. I mean, the streets were packed. I mean, I was at the end in Main Street because I've always got to get pictures of Main Street, things like that, being on the board down there. And so we were down towards the end, and it took us a while just to get out of there, even at that end where we're at the end of it, where I was like, this will be easy to get out. We won't be in the traffic, all that stuff. No, it was that many people down there, even through, I mean, the people don't realize it's all the way up to the expo to the museum.
You should have seen it out here at Nemar and
I bet it was packed.
At Reese's and, just all along. And what was really cool was there are people, it's really surprising because there's some people that are like bah humbug people. Oh, yeah. That, you know what I'm saying?
We got all that. Everybody's got them.
But here's where I'm going with this is there's bah humbug people that throughout the year, they're just really they're really not that person, but they're just very quiet and maybe they don't show excitement. Yeah. There were people standing on the sidelines of the parade that I know that don't show a lot of emotions. They were yelling Merry Christmas and they were smiling and they were happy. I mean, and it was so well put together. Yay, the chamber. They did an amazing job. And it was organized. And you know what? All of our leaders were out there helping get us on the road and going. Yeah. And it was incredible.
People don't realize all these things. I mean, we do a lot of events downtown, and your guys are always somewhere around there. You're in a store, you're somewhere. Yeah. I mean, that was the Taste of Claremore's the first time I had your guys' drink. Me and my wife were walking around, had a little date night of it, and I tried it.
We were in Happy Dashery.
Yep, you guys were in the Happy Dashery, and I grabbed one and I was like, oh my gosh, it was the fruit punch or something like that.
Zebra punch.
Yeah, the zebra punch.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. It was which I probably didn't have enough to really give me that jolt because, but whenever I came in here and I was, how many days in a row did I come in here after I had that one?
Like about 5.
Yeah, like I was.
Had a big deadline.
Yeah, I had a bunch of stuff to do at the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm coming in here. So like when I know that I have something that I'm like, I need to get done, this is where I come and get one because I know I can sit there and do that kind of thing. And I don't know, people are like me, I didn't even know really what it was, I didn't understand. I really didn't get into it. I'm not a huge health nut, as people can see. I like my junk food. I'm a sweets pastry kind of guy. That's the way I do it. And but as I've gotten older, I've tried to like, hey, I need to do things a little bit better and not drink 3 energy drinks in a day just to get through, because that's how many it would take after a while. I drink so many of them, I'd have to drink multiple. I drink one of these and I'm fired up.
Right. For the whole day.
You're
good.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't even think about it. Like, honestly, I didn't even think about eating. I was just so focused. I wasn't hungry. I was just ready to go. Because the one I think that you gave me before had like protein in it or something like that too. So it gave me what I needed.
You were drinking from our back to school menu, and that was the Sideline Crush.
That's what it was, Sideline Crush.
And it's got 7.5 grams of protein in it. So if you need a pick me up, and you're on and a lot of people count how many grams of protein they're eating a day. I try to get 100 at my age. I try to get 100 grams of protein a day.
I don't even know if I get close to that. I don't know.
Okay, here's the deal. If I do 2 shakes a day and I do my protein, my tea in the morning, and then I do one in the afternoon, I've already got, 48 and 15. So, I mean, I'm already way over my, And so, I mean, it's like, it's so easy. And people have the misconception that it's expensive.
Yeah.
Okay. You tell me, okay, you go to other stores. I won't ever say any name, but you go to other places and you buy this loaded this or loaded that, or just if you go to a restaurant and you can spend $15, $20
on one meal.
That's going to make you feel miserable.
You're going to feel full for about 2 hours, and then you're going to be hungry again because you really didn't get anything good.
Right. And I can honestly say this. So we've been in business 10 years. So I started my health journey 10 years ago. I had lost my mom to Alzheimer's, and Alex and Micah had been into a store, which is my son and daughter-in-law. They had been into a store in Oklahoma City in the Edmond area where she was going to college, got the idea. Cherry Berry was just closing. And Alex told Micah, he was a Tulsa firefighter at the time, and he told Micah, he says, we could do this in Claremore. They need something like this.
Yeah.
And so he called me and he was like, Mom, I want you to help me. We're going to do this. And my son literally got me the products, brought them to me because I was in a very bad place. I'd put on weight from taking care of my mom for all the years. And he said, I want you to do these products for 1 month and see how you feel. After 24 hours of doing shakes and teas, I hadn't had that kind of energy since I was young. I felt so much better. I didn't feel drugged down. I didn't feel sludgy. And I said, Alex, this is amazing. I went on to lose 85 pounds.
Wow.
And and I've kept it.
You were stuck. You were like, I'm in.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm a lifer.
You're like, how can I not?
Yeah, I'm a lifer. And so I've lost this weight and I've kept it off. And I'm 60 years old and I don't take any medication. I am healthy. And it's all because I made the decision to change how. And does that mean I don't have cheat meals? Oh, absolutely not. I always have my Mexican food.
You've got to.
I mean, I've got to have my Mexican food, or I've got to have my Asian diner, or, something. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I still have those meals, but it's in moderation. And I just try to make good decisions when I am eating and drinking. And that's what you can do here. I mean, you stop by, you get you a tea, and I can promise you this. If you start with a tea or a shake or both in the mornings, you will make better decisions throughout the day.
Yeah, I can vouch for that. It really can. That's, I mean, I was going through editing videos like no other. I was quick to think. I was like, ooh, that's a good idea. You know, like it was just like one of those things. And I was like, I'm hooked. That stuff is amazing. Because when Herbalife really kind of started, it was more so you bought it, you did it at home.
Right.
And it really, I remember when I was younger, when it really kind of boomed and everybody was trying to sell it to you and do this and that. And then I'd never seen a store where you just go and buy it, your drink, and you just go about it. You didn't have to buy into it or do any of that stuff. You just came in, got your drink, and you kept on going.
And see, nutrition clubs have been around, I'm going to say maybe about 15 years. They've been around probably about 15 years, and it was just a new concept. Somebody came up with the idea in Hope, Arkansas. Arkansas. And
of course, it's the Hicks.
Yeah. And so this lady says, hey, I think, and she calls Herbalife and says, can I do this? And they're like, well, nobody's ever done it before. And then everybody, when they started finding out about it, the next thing you know, they started doing it. And then so when my son and daughter-in-law decided they wanted to go to Tennessee, and they wanted to start doing they decided to move out to Tennessee to open their own nutrition club. And out there, then that's when they sold this to me. And Alex has always said, Mom, this has always been more like your club than it is mine, because a lot of the kids that come in here, I still call them kids. They're adults, 3 or 4 children, right? You're still a kid.
They're still a kid, yeah.
No. And so he goes, Mom, nobody walks in the door and says, hey, is Alex here? They always come and say, where's your mom?
Yeah, where's Mama Lynn?
Yeah, because, I mean, we have deep, deep conversations at our bar. And, I mean, you know, they're nutritional conversations, or, you know, I mean, it's like we sit there and we have a drink together and we're talking about maybe somebody's had somebody pass away, or somebody just found that they have cancer, or maybe they've lost a loved one, or, you know, whatever's going on.
They just got they just got an amazing grade on their exam or something.
That's what I was just getting ready to say. Or they're going to get engaged and then somebody tells somebody, but they got to keep it a secret, or, you know, or help me pick out this ring, or, you know, we've been through everything together in here, and it's just an amazing community.
Yeah, I mean, it really does help that the people that we have here are just phenomenal. I tell people I've moved away. I moved up to the mountains. I was right outside of Yellowstone. Gorgeous up there, don't get me wrong. But the people just aren't the same. They literally look at you weird when you hold the door open for them. You know, and it's a crazy thing that, you know, I was in New York City one time and I held the door open for somebody, and the guy looked at me and said, do you work here? And I was like, no, I just opened the door, you know, like,
being polite.
That's just what we do from where I'm at.
Manners.
Yeah, like that's just what we do. It's a silly thing, but I mean, something as small as that, you don't get that in other places. And the support, I mean, I'm sure there's been other nutritional clubs that have come and go throughout town, and but you guys have stuck it out. You guys keep on doing it, and I think that it's not just your drinks and the teas or the shakes and stuff like that, because a lot of you guys are using the same products, you know, and it's the love that you're putting in there. That's that extra ingredient, the people what you guys give to people when they come in here. It's not just, here's your drink, have a good day. Right. People get to know you, you're personable. And
our goal is for when somebody walks through our front door, especially if it's somebody that's new, that's never been here, I want them to leave here feeling like they've never felt before. Yeah. I mean, and I don't mean just from the tea. I'm talking about the experience of having a conversation, or, you know, and if we know that you're new and you've never been, we always write something on the cup. Or if we know somebody's got a big test, or somebody's got, it's their birthday, or, you know, whatever, we write a note on their cup, and they just, I mean,
that goes a long way.
It goes a long way.
It goes a long
Kind words go so far.
A smile. A smile alone is just, you could be having the worst day and you come in and get your tea and you're standing over there smiling and laughing. It'll change your it can change your attitude. I mean, like, I said I was in Florida one time and I was at a gas station and lady behind the counter, she's and I'm standing up, she's like, next, and like, I'm like, next, like we don't even say that here, but so I walk up and I'm like, how are you doing today? Just trying to be cheerful. And she's like, okay. And I'm like, come on, we're in Florida. Like, it can't be bad. Right? Come on. And she's like, I guess so, and as we kind of continued to chat, she was smiling, and when I left, I was like, you have a great day. She's like, you too. And it was more, you could tell her personality had just, her attitude changed.
Right.
And the next person that came in, she's like, hi, how are you? Instead of next. Those are little things that you can do. I walking into a store, walking into Walmart in Catoosa, and I don't know her, some lady, and I said, how are you? And I smiled at her. She stopped and turned around. She goes, you've got an amazing smile. And I was like, well, so do you. You have a great day. It was just, even me, I felt good afterwards. I was like, that was a good interaction. And I have no idea who that lady was and never seen her again, I don't think. But it was just something, that little interaction. And I hope she felt the same way I did, because I felt pretty good after that. Like, I was like, hey, my shoulders were perked up and I was feeling confident. Like, that was awesome. Those are the things that you get outside of just coming in and getting your tea. Yeah. It's not just, like you said, the first ingredient is your love.
So my signature saying as people walk out the door is have a blessed day. But a lot of the teenagers, or maybe even the younger kids, my signature out the door is make good decisions today.
There you go.
And their parents are like, yeah.
That's something we say to our daughter Prue when she gets out for school. Like, you make good choices today. It's something. It's a very important thing. Yeah, I love it too. I love it. Yeah, it is a good thing, because have a good day is different than make good decisions today, guys. You got it. It's kind of an uplifting thing. There's a way to do that, and just instead of customer service goes so far. Any business could be run down, little shack, but if you've got the customer service, people are going to keep coming. It doesn't matter what it is. And that's how you continue to grow. And that's why we have such amazing business people here. Starting this podcast, I just wanted to get to one. I think I get more out of it than my guests do, because I get to absorb all that energy, the knowledge, everything of what, that infectious, because it keeps me going.
Right.
Like, I have my days where I'm down and bummed out and I'm like, oh man, nobody watched that video I posted or all that work I did, but then I sit down on a podcast and I talk with somebody, and when I'm done with it, I feel good. I feel energized. Like, I've just absorbed everything from them. And I'm like, man, that was good. Like, I get more out of this than anything, but that's why I want people to know these people. Lots of people do, but nobody had really done a podcast about Claremore yet. We've got Facebook, all those other things. And podcast is growing. It's one of the, it's from 2022 to 2023, there was 42 million new podcast listeners.
That's unbelievable.
And I'm like, well, why is nobody doing that here? And my therapist said, hey, you should do a podcast, and I was like,
so cool.
I don't know, it was just kind of one of the, I don't know. She's like, no, I think you'd be good at it. And so I kind of looked into it, and I was like, I know how to do all that. I could do this. I could do this.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. And it really became my therapy. Not alone, not just sitting there talking to my guests and things like that, but it became the editing and hearing it afterwards. And just,
you felt accomplished.
Yeah, I felt like I did something. And I was like, all right.
Helping, and look at all the people that you're helping do it.
I think they're helping me more than anything, but I'm stubborn. That's just the way my brain is.
Well, every morning I say a prayer on the way to work, and my first thing is, please God, let somebody change me today. And then, God, let me say the right words to the person that needs to hear it. And that's just my prayer, because there's so many hurting people out there right now. And I just feel like that if they come in and they need something, and if I need something,
you can find.
I know that God's going to put that person in each one of our lives if they come through our door.
Yeah.
And it's just so important. And
I think that prayer, that kind of a prayer, just so shows like how selfless of a person you are, actually. Because I mean, really, if you think about it, I mean, when people are praying, they're this, I need that, they need their things like that. You know, that I'm saying,
as
it's
long
such
as
a thing.
I've got my health,
Yeah.
and my family is good. I mean, I feel like I'm the richest person.
What else do you need?
I mean, it's
Right.
not for me. It's really, honestly, it's not about money. It's about just am I making a difference in somebody's life, and what can I do for somebody?
How can I keep doing that? What else can I do?
Yeah. Exactly.
That's what I like. When I started this, you know, people were like, well, you could charge people to be on the podcast. It's exposure. This, I'm like, but I don't really want to do that.
Yeah.
You know, like sponsors, things like that. That's a different story. But like for them to be on the show, like one, you're taking your time. You're busy.
Right.
You're giving me your time.
Right.
And that's like I said, and I get more out of this than they do. I think really when it comes to it, because we're not huge. We don't have millions of followers. We don't have, you know, thousands of streams.
Right.
But we do have quite a few, and it's continued to build, and it's not me at all. It's the people.
Exactly.
It's not all, you know, even people that aren't even on the show, they share things like that. And I'm like, that's amazing.
That's
that
awesome.
makes me feel good that people were like, hey, they notice with it. Yeah.
That's
Listen to these people because they are great people. So we kind of got to know a little bit what we do here. So let's kind of dig into get to know Mama Lynn a little bit.
okay.
So we kind of heard how you got started and things like that. But what, like before this, what were you doing? Like, what were you really into? What were you doing for work?
I work for the public school system, and the majority of my years was at Claremore High School. And I started out in the attendance office, and then I moved later into the registrar, and that's where I was when I left, when my mom got diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And then after my mom passed away, I went to work for Broken Arrow Public Schools and worked over there. And that's where I was working when Alex and Micah decided, hey, I got a new business venture.
Got an idea, Mom.
Yeah, Mom, come work with me. And it was the best decision.
I mean, how cool is that too? You get to work with your kids.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's a different kind of relationship you get to build, you know, than just being mom.
Right.
You know.
Right. And I really feel like, you know, the whole path that God took us on, I mean, it set us up for this because so many of the kids that went through the high school are my customers now. And I mean, there's so many of them.
And they have kids.
And and their kids, all their little kids. I mean, those are all the little kids that were on my float.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like these kids have grown up in this club. And so it's just, I just feel like that, you know, sometimes when you doubt where you're going or what's going on, God always has a purpose.
Yes.
If you're listening, then and you're doing, you know, what you think that God is really wanting you to do. I mean, because like I said before, it's just all of these people have turned into a community. So it's just incredible.
And I like I said, we have younger kids and younger people in the community that have kind of saw where we were. You know, like my age, we're not old. We're kind of that middle, you know, that middle section. I told my buddy the other day, I'm like, when did we become middle-aged? Like, I don't understand. Like, we were just 18 years old doing stupid stuff. Like, and now we're middle-aged. Like, I've got kids and I'm married and got another one on the way. Like, it's just weird. It's crazy. And you're like, when did this happen? But we've seen how Claremore was, and we've seen how our communities had changed, and we're like, we didn't like that. And so we're to a point where like we'll step up and we'll do it ourselves if we have to. I mean, our mayor alone, we both know Debbie, and she's an amazing person. Just what she does for the community, I mean, when we had the tornadoes, she was
unbelievable
out there walking around, talking to people. What do you need? I mean, was even running the fund to help people with things that they needed. And how many other mayors are going to be doing that? You know? I
mean, I can honestly tell you when the tornado happened. So, you know, I don't know if you know this or not, but in January last year, our roof caved in here at 619.
Oh, I do remember.
Okay.
I do remember.
Okay.
Yep.
So our roof caved in. We we had a substantial, we lost everything. So we moved 5 doors down.
Yep.
Steve Neely is the most awesome landlord for me. He's just incredible. He let me move 5 doors down. I was only able to do teas. We were there almost 3 months. We just barely got back in here, which we got a complete remodel.
Yeah, everything
It's
got all
awesome.
done. Yeah,
I mean,
it's gorgeous in here.
It's
Yeah.
gorgeous in here. And
I mean, bad things can turn into good things.
that's
But,
exactly. And
but you guys got moved right back in.
moved back in right around the 1st of April, and then in May the tornado came.
Yeah.
And we turned this into Tornado Central.
You guys had
Everything
here. If you needed it, come get it.
Yes, everything you could need, because we had electricity.
Yeah, which a lot of people didn't.
A lot of people.
We didn't have electricity for, I think, 13 days.
Yeah. And so we had our electricity, and I can tell you right now, there were people coming in here, okay, hand me $100 bill, and they would say, I want you to take a whole load of teas as many times as you can down to the city hall for all of those people, that are working 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
And people would come in and say, here's $100. If someone walks in and and we had 5 families that come in here faithfully daily.
Yeah.
Okay. They lost everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
everything. Yeah.
I mean, it was bad. And people would walk in and say, Lynn, I know you know who needs this. It's on my heart to give it to somebody that needs it.
Yeah.
And that's what we did.
Yeah.
And so the city, John Ferry, Maggie, I mean, all of those people that were down there, all of the girls from, Human Resources, I mean, the whole economic group, and Debbie and John, and I mean, all of them, they gave up everything and was staying 24 hours a day.
They ran this thing like it was, like it's happened here. It happens here all the time.
I know.
Like it's just an normal occurrence.
It was incredible. And that right there shows the community that we have.
Yeah. I mean,
it was just incredible. And all of the people that worked out on the lines in the city, I mean, they were busting their rears.
They're coming from other states, other places, like for
hours. But even just the local people, hours and hours and hours of spending out there. And I mean, it was still raining, and the weather wasn't necessarily good.
Hot
and it was hot and sticky. And I mean, it was miserable.
It was.
But I mean, to watch our community just come together, and I met so many people. And I mean, I just thought it was incredible, because like the Elks Lodge here, and the Elks Lodge in Broken Arrow, and they had stuff up at the expo, and the girls, Tanya Andrews and all of them, Wendy, they brought their stuff. Once they were ready to shut down everything, they brought their stuff up here and dropped it off. So we just made it, I think we had it for 2 weeks, maybe 3, where we had clothing, we had personal items, we had, our big thing was diapers and wipes, water.
Yeah, simple things that you don't think about.
I mean, they didn't have shampoo, they didn't have toothbrushes. I mean, it was just incredible. I mean, the community just absolutely took care of one another.
If it wasn't for my in-laws helping us, we would have been in a really bad place, because we were over on Dorothy and we got smoked. And so
I know where you were at.
Our neighbors, some of our neighbors literally have no house left. It's still weird to walk outside and look and not see.
I grew up on Dorothy.
Did you? Yeah.
And so for me to drive up there and to see the devastation, and I'm just like, wow. Yeah. I mean, it's changed so much.
We left right before it hit. We were watching the news, and it was moving so fast that literally we were just like, we got to go. Grab the girls, we jumped in the car, and we started driving. We got on the turnpike and started going towards Verdigris, and as we look over, it's just this giant green hue. And this big old, like, you can't, we really couldn't tell that was a tornado until we really stopped and looked at it. We were like, that's a tornado. That's going right towards our house. Like, it's going through our town. And, it took us 2 hours to get back from Verdigris to our house, because we literally went to my family's house, my mom and dad's house there, and as soon as it was done, we were like, we're going back, and we came through, and it literally was like the movie Twister. Like,
I know.
people standing on the curbs, trees literally just completely. I mean, trees that have been there as long as I could. I mean,
it was
before I was born,
when it did to the trees.
Oh, we have like no shade around our house now. And we had so many beautiful trees during the summer. Really helped with the heat, and this year was just insane. It was our door got so hot now that it's literally the paint has bubbled and peeled off of it. That's how hot it was getting.
That's insane.
You don't realize like what the trees do really whenever it comes to it.
That's right.
Until they're gone, and you're like, man, was it always this hot?
I miss my
trees. Like, yeah. But
so,
I mean, just the people, the way they did it, and you guys here, like you said, you guys had tables set up and you literally had it on there. What do you need? Come and get it.
Come and get it. And the thing is people would come in and they would say, do you have like a twin bed, or do you have? Yeah. We had one man that had back surgery, and they lost their house, and they were staying with somebody, and they needed a special kind of bed. We found it for him.
Yeah.
I mean, we just posted, hey, this is our need.
We need something.
Can somebody help us? And see, that's what I love about Claremore.
Right. It's just.
I mean, it's just everybody is just. They're just so awesome.
You need something, you can find it.
You can find it, and somebody's willing to give it.
Yeah.
Or
find somebody's like, hey, I'll buy that for you, or this or that. You
exactly.
know, it's just so crazy. I mean, so we kind of talk. You know, I'm from here. We know all the people, but you grew up here. I grew up here. I was born at Claremore Hospital.
Me too. Me too.
I'm a local. That's what I tell people. I'm a Claremorean. I'm too stupid to leave.
That's through and through.
Like, that's just the way it goes. And but we have one of the longest stretches of Route 66 with so many different attractions along the way. Even just in Rogers County alone, we have so many different attractions. Mm-hmm. What would you say? I mean, you've probably been to a lot of them. What would you say is probably your favorite attraction in Rogers County?
So I have, it's going to be the new Museum of History that used to be the library.
The library, yep.
Okay, so when I was a kid in the summer, we would walk from our house up on Dorothy Street, and they would have reading groups. And so we would walk to the library at least 3 times a week, because it just gave us something to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where I love to read. I love to read. And I really feel like that's why I love to read.
You started something there.
I mean, we used to go there.
Yeah.
And what they've done with that now, unbelievable.
Amazing.
I mean, it's awesome. Of course, I love the Rogers Museum.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we grew up in that. I mean, going on
of course.
trips.
Oh, yeah.
Kids going on field trips, doing the dress-up days, doing the Easter egg hunt.
Yeah.
Okay, when I was a kid, you were allowed to snowbogging or sled and toboggan.
Plenty of snow sledding down that hill.
Yeah, and so
I've gotten hurt on that hill.
I have gotten hurt on that hill, and so anyway, you know, so I love that. But there's just something about the old library being turned into this historical place, and I'm so grateful that they didn't take it and tear it down or they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They could have just took it down and built something new there. Yeah.
Exactly.
They took the history of it.
The history of it, and they kept it, and the board for it. I mean,
yeah, Steve and the board, they all step up.
And what's really cool is all of them are from here.
Yeah.
And they've just taken it and they've just made it so awesome.
Like Steve, I think he's like a 4th, 5th generation Claremore.
Exactly.
So like
I mean, it's like, yeah.
He knows a lot too. Like you sit there and talk to, like he tells me stuff that I never even heard of. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. And it's so funny because people, you know, I can remember when Neymar wasn't even this long.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These buildings, I remember as they were adding on.
Yeah, they continue. Yeah.
The phases of the building.
Well, I mean, it's changed just even since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I remember I watched Free Willy at the movie theater.
I I saw Star Wars down here at the movie theater. And so, and I mean, people don't remember that Goldie's used to be down here.
Goldie's was right there.
And so, I mean, there's a lot of things that people don't remember about this area. And it's cool to have that heritage that people can, tell the stories of what it used to be like when we were here.
Because, I mean, really, Claremore has so much history. People don't even, I still learn stuff all the time that people are like, oh, did you know we have this or that? And I'm like, what? Like, I had no idea. And then I'm in it. I'm like, I got to find out more. Like, I'm just a dork about it. I'm like, what else is there? Right. But the way that they've done it with the museum, I remember when the museum was, like, when I was, I don't know, probably my son's age, about 10 or so, but there was nothing in it. And they would turn it in. We went through the haunted house there. Right. Like, they would use it for all kinds of different stuff. And whenever the museum opened up and they did it's gorgeous in there. There's so much, and you get to learn about some of the people that, I mean, growing up here, we all know their street names, and you don't really know who they are as people, and you're like, well, why is this street named this, or why is it in that? But then you go in there and they have so many exhibits about just who these people were and what they did, and you're like,
I love how they spotlight the different people.
They have different little
like artifacts and things from,
I think right now they still have the Pocahontas Women's Club, which is like 125 years old now or something like that, and it's in there right now, and it's so cool to just read what they've done and throughout the years. I mean, and all the people that we have here. I love Will Rogers, and so of course, the guy was just way before his time. Like he was
so totally.
Even if he was alive today, I think he would still be just a superstar.
And he is.
He would have been a superstar. There was no matter what time of in life it was, he still would have been a superstar just because of who he was. The things that he thought of, his words, I mean, even his quotes today are still, they resonate still. They still make sense. And you're like, I get it, you're right. That was still going on then. But we just have so much history here. So, I mean, that is and if people haven't gone over there and checked it out yet, they really need to go see it.
They've got to go see it. It's just so cool.
Go take couple hours and really just go read and look at that stuff, because it is, you'll learn a lot about this town.
And like we were talking about, they do change it up. Have different people, that they, I follow them on Facebook. So that way when they're having an event.
Yeah, they do it at least every month at least.
Yeah, they do an event. And I just love to read about, and I think I love supporting something like that. Because it's good for the kids to learn. And I think it's cool that sometimes they do field trips and different stuff. And it's really cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, we talked about favorite attraction, but like, what is your favorite thing about Rogers County? Like your favorite, just what does it make, like, whenever you think about it, you go, that's why I love it here.
I think that it's just my favorite thing would have to be the community. The camaraderie and the support that we give one another, and how if we hear that there's somebody in need, how the whole town will come together and help, or if a business needs something, or just whatever. I just love the fact that we're a true community.
We step up and get out there. I mean,
we're not so big that we can't help, but we are big enough that there's companies here that are big enough that can
make a change.
Yeah.
I mean, world companies. They're not just here in Oklahoma. They're all over the world. They're all over the world that are here in our town.
I just love how our community really acts like a community, because you go to some towns and they're so spread out, and they're so, I mean, you can just tell by going in that it's not like a close-knit group.
It's not a family.
No, exactly.
It's not a family.
That's the word I was looking for.
It can be a community, but it's not a family. And I feel like we are a family here, because everybody, I mean, you have, like I said, everybody, there's always the naysayers and this and that. Like, why aren't we like so-and-so? Or why are we not like so-and-so? Well, so-and-so is not like us. They don't have that same connection with their people that live there. They don't have the people that step up and do these things. They may have benefactors that are like, I need a tax write-off, so here's some donation of money, and they go and do something with it. That's different than people stepping up and showing up and actually doing the work themselves to help without being asked. To volunteer, they're not getting paid, and they just do it. And so, yeah, that's, I mean, a lot of when I ask that question, most of the time I hear is the people, is the community, it's who are here. So, what are some kind of things that you like to do outside of here? I know you're here a lot.
I'm here a lot. But it's my favorite place in town. And it's not just because I own it. It's because I just love talking to the people. Yeah. I love to go support RSU basketball. I love going up to the high school and seeing all my old friends and things like that. There's a group of ladies that I have been friends with for over 40 years that once or twice a month we go to dinner and hang out. I love to go home and read. I
get that time to chill out.
My most famous thing for right now that I love to do is once a month my kids try to come back home and stay and bring my new grandbaby.
Yeah.
And so I am a Grammy through and through right now. They will be here a week from tomorrow, and I am eating up that she's going to be, she just turned 16 months. So Christmas this time is it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, totally different.
And so I just like to be out in the community, and sometimes I just like to quietly go around and do a little shopping through.
Just do your own little thing.
Yeah, and go say hello to some of my people that have local businesses and that sort of thing. So
that's. So you just in the community again. You're like, that's what I like to do. It's what I work. That's how I work. That's what I do on my spare time. I just like to be out there.
To be a part of the community.
Yeah, which I mean, I love it. I get it. I'm the same way. I'm like, what do we got going on? Okay, yeah, I want to go.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna.
Some of these things, there's so many things going on. I'm like, I can't go on with them, but I want to. But I'm like,
it's like
I'm worn out tonight.
We're gonna pick this. We're gonna pick that. But I mean, like, tonight we're having, I'm staying open late, and there's a new women's networking.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, here in town. And they wanted some place that they could meet and talk quietly and that sort of thing. And some of those ladies are my customers, and they're like, hey, maybe once or twice a month, can we use the lobby, our sitting area over here and have shakes and teas for dinner? And I was like, absolutely. And so, they're trying to grow this networking group. So, so we are having them here tonight. Yeah. And I'm getting to make new friends and, finding out what other small business women are doing.
Yeah, kind of.
And,
mix and mingle and kind of help each other. Like, hey, this is kind of something we've tried.
Well, we could do this. Yeah. Or you should do this. Or, hey, you need to call this person.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can make a huge difference in somebody's life just by saying, hey, I know somebody that you should get in contact.
Oh, yeah. That's how a lot of the people that I've had on this podcast are like, hey, you need to talk to this person. Hey, you should call them. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't know them, but can we get, and people have gotten me in contact with them. And now they're some of my really good friends.
Right.
Like outside of the podcast, we still talk, we text each other, things like that. It's just, they're good people. And I'm like, I would have never met that without connected with other communities. Yeah.
And it's all about that. It's all about connecting with one another. And, that's my place. And that's what I like to do.
You're like, that's my place. And that's where I'm staying.
Yeah.
I like
it. That's it. I'm staying right here in the community.
So, I mean, we talked, you do a lot you're working a lot. You're here. You're like, I'm here till 5, it's like I know me, myself, like there's some days I just wake up and I'm like, I don't want to do anything today. Like, I really just want to not see anybody, not do anything. And you just kind of have to motivate yourself to do it. Like, what is your motivation for getting up every day and just pushing through it, having a smile on your face, and just, being Mama Lynn?
I can't wait to see my customers. I can't wait to hear what happened the night before, or, I know somebody was playing in a ball game, or somebody was doing this, or somebody was, they give me life. They just make me feel, and it's not about me, it's about them.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to,
it goes back to like I was saying, you kind of get more out of it than they do. You kinda, you're like, it's not. I mean, it's not a selfish thing to say. You get more out of it, and not a lot of people are like that. They don't get that that jolt of life from hearing other people's happiness or things like that. Yeah.
And I mean, sure, there's days. This year we decided to have winter hours, and we started closing on Sundays.
Yeah.
And my main drive to that was I wanted a full day off, and I wanted to. I mean, I could have stayed open, but then I'd always be worried about, oh, did they show up for work? Did they, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just decided we were going to do some winter hours, and we have all the holidays, and, you know, I knew my kids would be coming home, my grandbaby, and the whole 9 yards. So my Sundays is kind of my day to shut down and just do my housework, you know, just have my quiet time. And sometimes I'll go do stuff with friends, you know, go to church, that sort of thing, and just have a full day off. Just reset.
Yeah, you need that time to do things that you want to do, and just, even if it is not do anything.
Honestly say that other than if I don't feel well, I get excited.
You're just ready to see what's going on.
Yeah, I get excited, and I don't consider it work.
It's not a job for you.
It's not a job for me.
You're just coming to hang out.
I'm coming to hang out with everybody, and we get to make some shakes and teas.
I mean, and you make money that way, so I mean, it's like it's a win-win. It's a win-win.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you know, I look forward to seeing my friends.
So that's your motivation. It's not even work. You're like, that's so good. Yeah, you get to make.
I love to make new friends.
Yeah, I mean, like we've known each other just for a while, but we really haven't
had a connection.
Yeah, we haven't got to really connect.
So now you're back in our lives. And I mean, it's like. It's so fun when that happened.
Yeah.
And you know, I had one of my old students that was one of my office aides, and he came in and he's like, he moved back, and he's like, oh my gosh, I've missed you so much. You haven't changed.
You don't realize how.
You know, and I'm just like, and he goes, you have no idea how much being around you affected me, and blah blah. Yeah. And it's so cool just to have this group of people come and go. You know what I'm saying?
And then come back.
Yeah. And you know, next thing you know, they're sitting here with my morning crew. Yeah. And if you've never experienced my morning crew, they usually start getting here about 7:20 in the morning. And some of them hang around because they own their own businesses till 9-ish. Yeah. Because they visit with other business owners. Yeah. And I mean, you know, they all, you know, network within each other. And then I have a lunch crew too that come in, and they all network with each other. And, you know, Brooke just got married a year ago. Yeah. And
to another Claremore Christian.
Another Claremore Christian person. Yes. And but what's really cool about it is that when we did our wedding, when they did the wedding invitations, I'm going to say probably 100 of the people they invited were from here.
We're from the store.
Yeah. And I mean, they are family. Yeah. And they came.
And they showed up.
Had a great time. Yeah. And so, I mean, like I said, once you come through the door and you get the bug and you get hooked in here, dude, you've got friends forever.
I mean, just the times that I've come in and there's people I don't know, they're sitting on their laptops, this and that, but they just start talking to you.
Oh, yeah.
They just talk to you like they know who you are, and they know you, and you talk back like you know them, and you're just like, hey. I mean, I just saw, you know, one of your neighbors down here just come in and get their drink.
So while we've sat here, Sarah next door has been in. Yep. Tina Fouts has been in from Fouts Chiropractic, and Holly
just walked out here. Yeah.
And I got great news this morning. She told me I could tell anybody, so she's going to love on me, tell it on the podcast.
I love sneak peeks.
So Sheila from Vintage Charm is moving into the old Blaine.
So they're moving in the Vintage Charm over here?
Yes, I'm so excited.
I've known Sheila for years. Whenever I worked back at the bank, this is like when I was single filled, doing my crazy things, but met her when I worked at the bank, and she's always been that person that's, I mean, if I needed something, I needed furniture one time, and she was like, let's go get some furniture. She gave me pillows from the store. I mean, just everything. She's like, let's go get it. What do you need?
Go.
Yeah. I mean,
she came in this morning and she goes, I have a surprise. And I said, what is it? And she goes, I'm taking over the old bling. And I said, stop it. You are not.
Well, bling kind of threw everybody in a bad spot there. Especially like right before the holidays.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so she is hopefully going to be open mid-January.
Hey.
And I said, I am so grateful to have you as our neighbor.
She needs to have
community.
She needs to be in her. And I know she tries to like kind of get away from it and just like, well, maybe it's not what I'm supposed to do. But I think she is such an integral part of our community that no matter what she do, she's kind of stuck in it. She can't get away from it.
Yeah, she thinks she's going to kind of be on the quiet side of it or behind the scenes.
That's what she always says. No, she doesn't.
So anyway, I have great neighbors. We all support one another. Sarah does my taxes. Tina is our chiropractor. Everybody supports the Real Deal. It's new. I mean, you go all the way down. You know, all of the people that are here. We just missed Christy Wiley and the girls from American Staff Corp. We have an awesome group of people.
Everybody
out here
kind of comes together, hangs out
together, supports one another. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that especially in these little, like you get these little tight knit, you get your own little communities within the community, like the NEMA, everybody around here just kind of comes together. And I know that's kind of how like Main Street is downtown. Everybody just kind of comes together and pushes everything together, and you have your community within your community, and everybody supports everybody, and they try to do that. And I think that's why we do continue to have success with our small businesses here that other places may not have the success with it, because we do understand that, and we all are, I'm going to go here instead of go here. I'm going to go here instead of here because that's helping my friend, my neighbor. I'm getting what I need. I'm going to buy it anyway. So
exactly,
I'm going to go there.
So in October and November, I partnered with Lavish, and we did, and Real Deal also was a part of one of them. We partnered together, and we had what was called a merchant market. So what we did was, because again, SIP local. Yep. I'm all about shopping local. Okay, support the small businesses. So there's all these small businesses that are done out of people's homes, and they market their products online, or even through different channels in some of the boutiques,
different spots,
whatever. So we did these merchant markets, and hugely successful. So what we did was we invited some of our people that we knew that had small businesses, and they
came out, set up.
They came and they set up inside our stores, outside our stores, the whole 9 yards. And they brought their circle of influence. We brought our circle of influence, and then we got to meet each other. Yeah. And it was huge. It was so huge. And so for us here in this, in Nemar, sometimes I feel like, people are just used to us being here and that sort of thing. And then maybe the new people, they don't necessarily come into our complex. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And this way, we brought so many new people into
to mix everything up. Yeah.
And it helped everybody.
Yeah. So again, win-win with everything.
Win-win with everything. Yeah. So that's one of those things. It's kind of like when Downtown does one of their events where they all partner together and like we go Food Truck Thursday. Yeah. What an awesome. I mean, it's awesome. It brings the people to downtown, Taste of Claremore. Yeah. Absolutely.
The Dickens this year was just...
I heard it was
insane.
I didn't get to go. I had company. Yeah. And...
it was crazy. It's the most I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's...
I've never seen that many people downtown at one time.
They said it was awesome.
It was absolutely... Like, literally at one point I walked out, and because I was in there taking pictures of Santa for everybody. And... I walked out and they were dancing, and literally there was probably at the very least 1,000 people all dancing at one time together right in the middle of the street.
Everybody, I saw a bunch of the pictures,
Insane.
and I was just like, that is so.
People don't realize how much work goes into even just the markets, the events that go on. There's a lot of that go. It's not just one person that's doing something. There's a lot of hands that are go into it. It's not as easy as people think it is. It really isn't. Like, oh, why don't they do this, or why don't they add this?
Yes,
it doesn't work that way sometimes.
Well, I tell you what,
come volunteer.
Come on over and help us.
Come help us set up this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Climb up on these buildings and put up the lights. Like, I mean, Matt Mize, downtown from the Cranberry Merchant, he was out there in the cold. I mean, on top of the Will Rogers hotel up there, putting that tree up, hanging the lights around everything. Like, he was doing so much, and he doesn't get paid to do that. That's his volunteer time to do this. Like, people put on all this work, like you guys put it on the market. It's not just, it's not only helping you, but you're helping other people around your store. And like Matt, it's not just helping him, it's helping that whole community of downtown and things like that. Yeah. It takes a lot of work to put into it. The small group of ladies that there was, we helped every merchant in here. Mm-hmm. And I mean, they got foot traffic that they don't normally that they didn't see it on a normal Saturday morning or something.
Saturday, yeah. And now those people are coming back, and they're like, "Oh, I could go."
I didn't even know this place was here.
Yeah. Or I can get my Christmas presents.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so, I mean, I just think it's really cool.
Yeah, I love that kind of, like, put your hands in there, get it. It's a lot to say. We do this, and that, but when you're actually volunteer your time, get in there and do it. It totally changes your mindset on everything, on how things work and where it's at. I mean, there's even things from before I joined the board. I'm like, oh, why don't they do this or this or that? And then you get in there and you go, oh, that makes sense. Once you hear the other side of it, you're like, oh, okay, yeah,
that's why we're not doing.
It's not as easy to throw together a scavenger hunt. People don't realize that. It's not. You don't just.
There's a lot that goes
into it. Yeah. There's all kinds of stuff. It's something that people, they care about the community, and they want to give something for them to do. Right. And they put that time into, not for themselves, but for everybody around them. And you don't get that everywhere. You really don't. I've been to a lot of different places and lived in a lot of different places, and it's not the same. You don't get that. They want to help and they do this and that, but when it comes down to it, it's all about $1 for them at the end of the day. And I understand, you got to make money. It's a business, this and that, or whatever you are doing. But at the same time, it's here. I don't feel like that's what it is. It's not, that's not the last, like, what's the dollar amount we made? It's how many people showed up to do you think Dickens really made anything back for what they did? Absolutely not. Especially
lives were changed.
How many people had so much fun, like just watching the kids being there with Santa. I mean, I don't know if Brian, he was the Santa this year, and he is probably the best Santa I've ever met. Like, the guy was legit. Like, he had all these crazy random facts about different things. Right. Somebody be like, what's your favorite animal? He's like, they're like, a unicorn. And he was like, oh, did you know a unicorn's the national animal of such and such? It's, things like, just things that you don't see other Santas do. It's like, oh, yeah, okay, see you later. He was, I mean, Susan, Gebhardt over at 320, talk
about somebody that's amazing.
That lady is,
I mean, like,
I love Susan amazing. With my whole heart. She is such an amazing person. She's done so much for me personally, this podcast, everything. I mean, she is, when she knows everybody too, and so when she steps up,
she in her heart,
she lights up every room she walks into. It's just, I love her. But her granddaughter has always been kind of afraid of Santa, and so she told Brian, she's like, hey, Santa, she's a little bit nervous, and told her name and all, told him her name and all this stuff. And so when she came in, he was like, oh, how are you? And says her name and everything like that.
Oh,
and
that's so sweet.
By the end of the night, she had come back in there 5 or 6 times and gave him a hug.
That's awesome.
Was, I mean, just grabbing his beard and just touching, like, things. And they were like, oh my, she's never done this before.
That's so cool.
He really stepped up. So watching these kids come around the stairs there at 320, and as soon as they locked eyes with Santa, he had little jingle bells and he'd ring them, and they would hear their eyes look up and they saw, and it was just,
I know.
Light up. And you're like, this was worth every stressful moment of getting this started, doing this, and everything that went into it. That was worth everything, because you're just seeing how happy these little kids are. They just light up. And I mean,
So cool.
like I said, Brian was awesome Santa. He does an amazing. He's going to be over at the Belvedere doing Santa pictures this weekend and stuff. So he lives right down the road from me. So
Yeah, he's awesome.
and he decorates his house like crazy. I mean, Halloween, Christmas, my kids.
That's so cool.
Because it's on the way to the school, and so when we're driving to school, they always see it and they love it. They always love his house. So
cool.
And I told him, whenever we kind of were talking to him, I found that I was like, oh yeah, I know which house you live in. That's sweet. My kids love your house. He's like, oh, that's great. So he's just a good guy. Like I said, we got good people.
Yeah.
But
So good.
yeah, people don't realize, but everything that goes into it. But whenever you see the smiles and people getting along, and even other businesses that did really well that day, you're like, that was worth it. I like it. It was all worth everything. Yeah, for sure.
I love that.
So, let's see here. We're getting there. We're about an hour, which I like to be at. So we'll kind of start to wind down. I mean, we talked about the community, things like that. Is there something that you would like to see our community leaders kind of do, change, or something that you would like to see them implement?
I think
maybe we can put a little bug in their ear and maybe think.
I think, honestly, like we said earlier, I think we have the best community leaders. I mean, they're so awesome. I think for small business owners, just seeing them in our businesses makes our heart so happy.
Yeah.
And when they come through the door and they recognize you and they know your name and maybe you've done something something incredible has happened, or they know that something's happening in your life, or for them just to know the small business people. I think our leaders are doing an incredible job.
They're already doing a good job. They really need to.
I mean, really, honestly, I'm.
So basically, you're telling them keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah, keep doing what they're doing, and keep drinking my teas.
Keep coming and seeing me.
Keep coming and seeing me. It just makes me happy. It was so funny because if somebody will say, I'm so sorry I haven't been to see you and everything. And I'm always like, well, you don't have to buy anything. I have water too.
Julie must come say hi.
And they always just joke and they're like, I'll come see you. I'll come see you, But no, I think we have incredible leaders. And I mean, I feel so blessed for them to be a part of our community in here.
I really think, we've had some pretty shoddy people on our board in the past. To say that, I won't name names, but we all know that some of them we've had in the past. And I mean, when John came on board, and I think he really did change a dynamic of what was happening. And then with we have a lot of new board members this last time around and things like that. They really changed how things were looked at and how they focused things. I know they had people come in and because a lot of them were first time city council members, and so they didn't know all the ins and outs of everything. I mean, who does?
What to expect?
Yeah, exactly. And so they had people come in and kind of go over these things and teach them and things like that. And I think that's different than what I feel like our people before were always, we know best and this is what we're going to do. And
I just feel like, okay, so.
And I don't like to be like, I don't want to down on her, because there was still some great people on the boards before. It was overpowered by other people that were not doing the right thing.
Not even the board of that. Okay, so like when I think back to when I was a kid, and, my parents were friends with a lot of the people because my dad had been a police officer.
Yeah.
So they were friends with a lot of the people that were running our town. Yeah. And I think back to them, and they were older. I mean, to me.
No, yeah.
And I know
what you mean, though, yeah.
What I'm saying is it's like, in order to run our city, you had to be 50 plus.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying, yeah.
So it was like now we have younger people that are like,
they're my age. Yeah, I've got people that I've grown up with.
And they have such fresh ideas, and they they're making good changes.
You can mix the new with the old, and it makes something glorious if you really take the time to do it.
If those people that are older, I mean, and I think that's a good thing. I think, yes, I'm set in some of my ways.
Oh yeah, of course we all are in a certain sense. Yeah.
But I also think that if somebody comes in and says to me, hey, if you would do this, it would change your business. Hey, if you would do this, or if you would be involved in this, I think, I'm going to listen.
Yeah.
Because what they're telling me, they may have experience.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't.
And I mean, some of the ideas you go, I don't think that would work here. And they really, maybe not work, really do. But a lot of them you go,
right.
I didn't think about that.
But my point is
they care enough to do.
Yes. Now, I just feel like we have a good mixture of age groups within it. And it's not like that stoic, you've got to be 50 plus to be able to run our...
You don't know what you're doing. You don't know anything about life. You're not old enough. You haven't really lived. We've been through all this. We know.
Yes.
And that's,
And it was more like...
They were the people, we know what we're doing. You guys stay out of it.
Exactly.
Leave us alone. We'll take care of it.
But it wasn't that they weren't great people.
Yeah.
That's what we've just been taught.
That's how they grew up.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, things have changed.
So now I just feel like there's more, I don't want to use the word relaxed, but there's more of a, I don't know.
Relax is kind of for lack of better words. Yeah, it is, because it's
more relaxed because there's conversation.
There's more of a openness of it. Yeah. They all kind of go, okay, well, I'll listen to see what you have to say instead of saying, well, I know everything and that's just it's the right way. And I feel like but that's a lot of.
And
how it was.
Why I feel that's, we had the old, but now I feel like that's why our leadership in Claremore is so much better, because we do have that.
And I think, we learn not the bad things, all bad things necessarily, but even the good things that we had from our previous leaders.
Right.
And you can take those things and build off of those and kind of keep going. You learn from it. And I think our generation now, the kind of what we have there is, that's kind of how they are. It's, again, we know there is some still good, there was good, and we'll take that, but there's also some bad that we really kind of need to get rid of. Yeah. And we need to change.
This is,
and we understand that it's okay to change.
Yes.
A little bit to it, because, I mean, we really don't want to lose what we have here, because we do have something amazing. And I love to see Claremore grow, and it's grown even since I was a kid. My dad tells me how, where parts of town that we are just Blue Star was outside of town, at one point, and so things like that. And where Walmart's at, that was outside of town. Now it's part of town. It's what it is, and so it's grown, and I love to see it. But also at the same time, we can continue to grow and not lose what we have here.
Right.
Yep.
Right. What's up?
Oh, you're good. You make all your noise you want. If people hear, I'm going to tell people on the podcast, if you hear what we got going on, there's noise in the background. We are literally recording while the store is open. People are coming in, they're getting their drinks, they're making their drinks. So if you hear something, that's just the normal. It's actually a lot quieter than normally is. Well, you got music going, things like that.
Well, and the people are being very quiet as they come in.
They are.
They're walking in the door. Whoa, what's going on?
I am like, I'm grateful. I appreciate that. I really do. But they really are. They're being they're courteous and walking in. They're like, oh, there's something going on here, And but that's the joy of what I like this podcast to be, is to be open, free, crazy, have fun. You can be serious about it, and there can't be any noise or this or that, but It takes the realness out of it, and that's kind of the whole point of this podcast, is to get to know the realness of the people that we're talking to.
Right.
But we talked. You're basically said, keep doing what you're doing, right? Keep on doing it. What is something that you hope that maybe the store continues to do, or something like? What's your dream for the future? Do you have any? Or are you like, hey, I'm good. I love where it's at.
I want to reach more people. I want more people coming in. I want more. We're right around the corner.
Not only to make money, but to help people with their health.
Right. For long.
What it did for you.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I, we've got the new year coming on, and, everybody's new year, new me.
Oh, yeah.
And, the whole 9 yards.
I say it every year. And
every year.
Really do much.
Yeah. And so I just want to have the people come in, and I want them to truly change their life. And I want them to learn that making changes does make a difference, and that that this is a place that we can help you become healthy.
Yeah.
And I just want to grow the community. I just want to I want people to have a place to hang out.
Yeah.
That's safe, that's fun. I want people to be able to come here and do like they do and work on their laptops.
Yeah.
And I want, the college kids, they come in here and they love coming in and just chit-chatting because it feels like home.
Yeah, some may be far away from home.
Far away from home, especially the ones that have come abroad.
Yeah.
And they don't get to go back home.
Yeah, they don't have
this summer.
The families right around the corner or even just in the same country.
Exactly. And so for me, it's just let's grow the community.
Give them something to feel like home.
Yeah.
Feel like, that's why everybody calls you Mama Lynn.
That's it.
Because you're Mama Lynn to everybody.
That's right. See you later.
See, there we go. Everybody. So, before we kind of get your last remarks, what are some misconceptions about the store that people may have that you want to maybe set straight?
I think that the biggest misconception probably is it's too expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And we touched on that earlier. It's not any more expensive than going and having a big lunch someplace.
I mean, it's a meal replacement.
It's a meal replacement. You can come literally get a shake and a tea. And if you came and you got a shake and a tea here, you would spend less than if you went someplace and got a meal outside.
I mean, it's really not expensive.
No.
It really, it's like, if you go get coffee every day, it's just like going to get a coffee.
Replace your coffee. And if you're going to a fast
food restaurant or something?
No. Walking into like one of the gas stations.
Oh, yeah.
Going into their fast food area and you're getting a coffee and you're getting a donut or you're getting a breakfast sandwich.
It costs like $5 for a breakfast sandwich these days. And it's not even that good.
Right.
It's been sitting there for a little bit.
So you've now spent, the next thing you know, you've gotten, if you get like one of their fancy coffees and you get a fancy this and that, you've now spent more than what you would spend if you came to my place.
An energy drink's what, $4, $4 these days, It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You get an energy drink there from the store. Yeah. We'll have it, and you're going to feel like crap in about 4 hours. So
yeah. And so, I think the biggest misconception is that that it costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it's not any more expensive than any place else.
Stop it. And I know whenever I was out on the road all the time, when I worked in the service industry, I would be out and driving around. I always stopped at gas stations, this and that. I would spend probably $30, $40 a day just in gas station food and drinks. That's just, makes sense.
It's so easy. And
you don't think, it's too expensive because it's just your thought in your mind. I'm eating something, I'm drinking something, I need it, this and that.
Exactly. And then you always have the option if you don't want to come here every day, you can always get the products and do them at home.
Yeah, and you got that. You got some stuff on the shelf right here behind us.
Yeah, and there's easy ways to make the stuff at home.
Yeah.
Of the mornings, I drink my tea at home before I ever get to the shop.
Before you even show up.
And because I want to be in the best. I want to have the most energy and be feeling good.
Be ready to go when you show up.
Yeah, when I get here. And so, anyway, but it's awesome.
I think that is a good misconception to address because it is one of those things that people may think, well, I really can't afford to go in there and try. You don't have to come every day. Come every other day. Come every 3 days, whatever, once a week, whatever it is.
Right.
You can start somewhere. And, oh, my goodness.
Oh, it's Oh, hi, baby.
Oh, my goodness.
It's Tanky Tuesday.
Tanky Tuesday.
And so Tanky is here to visit.
Because your daughter just walked in. Yep.
Yeah. And, but the thing about it is that, just like that, people bring their dogs up. We hang out. Saturday, we're having a birthday party for Tank. And so, and then, just so I got to throw this in, on Saturday, December 21st, Santa will be here from 9 to noon.
Santa will be here from 9 to noon.
On Saturday, yes.
Come in, say hi.
For pictures, and everybody will just be drinking a tea, having fun, and so.
Don't give Santa too many teas because we need him to stay jolly and fat.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
What are you doing, Tank? Hi. Hello. Hi. What are you doing?
So Tank is our club mascot, and he loves the people and he loves the kids, and he's
so excited.
The sweetest heart.
Look at that face.
I know, right? You can't
go wrong with that.
You can't go wrong with it.
Can't go wrong with that.
So
before we go, what is something that you want to kind of just say to the people out there in Claremore? What on your heart? Your last hurrah!
You're gonna make me cry. probably just thank you for 10 great years. Let's do it. 10
Keep on going.
years. And, I just thank you for letting me help in the community and be a part of the community. And thank you so much for changing me.
Well, I think a lot of people would say the same exact thing to you, because thank you for being who you are, doing what you do, being such a big part of this community and everything that you do. I mean, you are there to fill a void that really needs to be filled. You are an amazing person. Your people here are amazing people. I know your kids. They've got good hearts too. I mean, they've had to be raised right by somebody.
Yeah.
And you are such an amazing person.
Oh,
and
thank you. That's so sweet.
thank you for everything that you continue to do. I think you're going to be bigger and better. It's going to keep growing. You're going to have such a huge family here that it's just going to be overwhelming at sometimes. I love it.
I love it.
That's a good kind of overwhelming.
That's a good overwhelming.
that's the kind we want.
And thank you for you asking me to do this.
Hey,
such an honor.
Thank you for being on it. It's fun. I love it. I'm so glad we got to do this.
I know. So much
this
fun.
this podcast is just about just having fun, just relaxing,
and
talking.
Did a great
and
job.
I appreciate it. I have my moments.
Did mean this.
I think it will continue to grow and just keep on doing more and more, and just. Because we have so many great people here.
So many
good people. There's so many good people and so many people that I want to have. I don't have enough time. We'll have to do 1,000 episodes before I can get to scratch the surface of what we have here. And so it's so hard to, pick and choose who we're going to have and what we're going to do. I don't have people knocking down my door, but I'm knocking down people's doors. I'm like, hey, I want you, because people are like me, like you, that we kind of have that humbleness where it's like, we're just here, we're just showing up like we're nobody, but to other people, you're doing so much more than what you think you're doing. You really are changing people's lives. You're making them happy. You're giving them that attitude change before they have to go to work because they woke up on the wrong side of the bed. It happens.
Or they're going to a job that they hate.
Yeah. You kind of change their attitude. Maybe they get through that day.
Yeah. We always like to say, we like to send you out the door with a cup of love.
You don't know whose life you're changing, what kind of day, where their thoughts are at, or where they are in their life. That one moment, that interaction of something so small.
It could just totally turn it around.
It could totally change their way of thinking and go, maybe that's not the route that I need to go.
Right.
Maybe there are people out there that are like that. So that's, I don't know. I thank you for everything. I thank you for being on the show. You are awesome. It's going to be good. There's going to be so much more to come out, guys. We've got some crazy people on this season.
That's so cool.
Cowboys, we've got alien hunting cowboys, we've got
my Lord,
it's
awesome.
Fighters, just other store owners, artists, that realtors. It's just, we've got an array of people that are going to be on this season.
So cool.
This is our first episode into season 2.
I'm so excited.
And you're number 1. Number 1. And so, guys, just keep listening, keep on following along for what we got coming up, because season 1 was good. Don't get me wrong. I had some good people on there, but season 2 is gonna be bigger. I'm trying to go bigger. I kind of kept myself on where I was at, like, oh, nobody's gonna want to listen to this or that. But you know what? I said, screw it. I'm having fun, so I'm just gonna keep going as big as I can do what I want. So
I love it.
Mama Lynn, thank you so much for being on this show.
Thank you.
And guys, come check out 619. You guys, it's right here in the Nemar. Everybody knows where the Nemar is. If you don't, drive right down the middle of town. You'll find it.
Exactly.
It's one way or the other. The main street's going to take you here. So
that's right.
We're right across the street from Reese's, all that. Just come over here, check it out. At least try it one time.
Yeah.
And see how you feel, because I'll tell you, you're going to be hooked.
Yeah.
And
that's it.
You're going to be feeling good. So come and see them. Thank you again, guys. And this has been another episode of I Never Met a Stranger I Didn't Like.